By sunrise, thousands of fake gas coupons were already in circulation, and no one knew who printed them. If you're into stories about power, crime, and the shadows behind World War II, make sure to follow, because this one exposes a side of the war almost nobody talks about. New York City, August 1942. 6:10 a.m. Federal rationing has been active for barely 3 months. The government limits gasoline to a few gallons a week for civilians. Delivery trucks, taxi companies, and small businesses depend on coupons issued by local ration boards. Each coupon has a letter code. Each code dictates how far a man can drive, how much a company can move, and how much fuel a city can use. Inside a small office on Lafayette Street, a clerk unlocks a metal cabinet. He counts the coupon books. The numbers don't match yesterday's count. 2 books are missing. He assumes it's a filing mistake. He logs the number and moves on. He doesn't know the books were removed before midnight, taken through a back stairwell, and delivered to a man connected to the Luciano family. 1 floor below, a truck engine starts. Boxes are loaded. They contain printing plates, paper stock, and ration books, all legitimate. All stolen without force, no broken locks, no alarms, just signatures forged and papers quietly stamped. The distribution of real books is the first step. The forgery begins afterward. At the same time, in Brooklyn, a warehouse off Nevin Street runs through the night. The building looks abandoned from the outside. Inside, 3 men stand around a printing press. They work in silence. The machine prints gas coupons that look identical to the government version. Same layout, same letter class, same color. The men check each sheet against a genuine sample. They adjust ink density and alignment by millimeters. The operation is supervised by men linked to the Mangano crime family. They have access to longshoremen, Union Hall records, and bribed dock supervisors. These contacts provide the supplies needed: paper stock, ink dyes, and printing plates. Everything matches what the Federal Rationing Office uses. At 7:45 a.m., the first pickup arrives. A driver receives 2 bundles wrapped in brown paper. No words exchanged, no questions. He loads the bundles under crates of fruit. The crates are real. The fruit delivery business is legitimate. The coupons beneath it are not. He leaves the warehouse and heads toward Lower Manhattan. The distribution begins. By 10 a.m., fake coupons are already reaching fuel stations in East Harlem, the Bronx, and Jersey City. Station owners don't check them carefully. Many don't care. They are selling more fuel than their ration allows. They are short on profit. They want volume. They want customers. Fake coupons mean survival. Across the Hudson River in Newark, a trucking company owner receives a sealed envelope. Inside are B and C class coupons, the highest civilian categories. They allow significantly more gas allocation. He doesn't ask where they came from. He hands the envelope to his drivers. The company will now move freight without restriction, while competitors wait for government reviews and limited allotments. The first signs of trouble appear by late August. The Office of Price Administration detects abnormal fuel usage in Manhattan, and Brooklyn investigators assume station owners are misreporting numbers. They send warning letters. They plan inspections. None of this slows the counterfeit flow. By early September, investigators notice something else. Fuel deliveries are increasing, even though rationing should restrict them. Storage tanks at several New York stations are being filled more often. The coupons being redeemed are stacked in thick bundles. Many look identical. Too identical. A federal agent visits a station on 2nd Avenue. He asks the owner to hand over redeemed coupons for inspection. The owner hesitates. The agent examines the bundles. The print quality is clean, the ink is sharp, but the serial numbers repeat. Same sequence, same alignment. The agent reports the finding. The report reaches the New York field office. The case is assigned to a small team. They know the docks are controlled by men close to Albert Anastasia. They know the print shops in Brooklyn have long-standing ties to the Italian-American underworld, but proving any connection requires catching someone in the act. At the same time, the demand for coupons increases. More businesses want extra fuel. Taxi companies rely on illegal coupons to operate through the night. Some owners purchase bundles directly from intermediaries tied to the Genovese family. Others buy through small-time brokers who may not even know who controls the pipeline above them. The volume becomes so large that the counterfeit coupons begin mixing with genuine ones at federal clearing centers. Clerks try to separate them but fail. The differences are microscopic. The mob has matched ink tone, texture, paper grain, and even the vertical microcuts used by the government's printing machines. To meet the rising demand, the Brooklyn warehouse adds a second shift. The press runs until dawn. Blank ration books are stacked in wooden crates and labeled as shipyard supplies. Trains move these crates to Newark, where drivers with Teamsters union connections, many under mob influence, handle local distribution. In early October, the first signs of interstate spread appear. Fake coupons redeemed in Connecticut match the ones circulating in New York. Investigators track the serial sequences. The same batches show up in Pennsylvania, then Massachusetts. By November, federal reports show counterfeit ration coupons appearing in 7 states. Inside the New York Ration Board headquarters, tension rises. They cannot tell how many fake coupons are in circulation. They cannot determine which businesses are using them legitimately and which are connected to illicit sources. The only clear fact: the counterfeits are perfect. Meanwhile, the men controlling the operation stay hidden. They avoid the printing rooms. They avoid the storage sites. They work through layers of intermediaries, many unaware of who they serve. Each man knows only the contact above him and the one below. Classic compartmentalization. A structure learned from earlier numbers, rackets, and union infiltration. By December 1942, the scale is enormous. Gas stations redeem thousands of coupons weekly. Businesses use them without hesitation. Taxi associations rely on them to stay competitive. The federal investigation grows, but moves slowly. Wartime bureaucracy slows coordination between offices. Staff shortages limit inspections. At the center of this operation is a quiet network tied directly to the remnants of Luciano's organization, now under the influence of figures like Frank Costello and Vito Genovese. Their reach extends through union halls, copy shops, warehouses, ration boards, and fuel distributors. Their influence on clerks and inspectors ensures minimal disruption. The gas coupon scam has become one of the biggest wartime black markets in the country, and it is still only in its first year. Government pressure increases at the start of 1943. The Office of Price Administration sends inspection teams into New York and New Jersey. They visit gas stations, warehouses, and private companies with unusually high fuel consumption. Agents collect redeemed coupons and carry them to federal examiners. The examiners attempt to separate genuine coupons from counterfeits. They fail. The differences are minimal. The counterfeit print runs match government-issued books with near-identical precision. In Brooklyn, inspectors question a station owner on Atlantic Avenue. He hands over several thick bundles of B and C class coupons. He claims they came from regular customers. He cannot provide names. The inspectors note the repetition in the serial codes. They seize the bundles and leave. The owner watches them walk away. He calls a number pinned beneath the counter. A man answers. The owner says only, "They came in." The call ends. The information reaches a man connected to the Mangano organization. He relays it to his superior. Within hours, the printing schedule at the Nevins Street warehouse is temporarily adjusted. The crew pauses distribution of 2 serial sequences and prepares new plates. No panic, no shutdown, just a quick switch. They have multiple sequences ready at all times. If federal pressure intensifies, they rotate. If an investigation gets too close, they move the equipment to another warehouse near the Gowanus Canal. Meanwhile, investigators follow a lead in New Jersey. A clerk in Newark admits he once saw coupon books being removed after hours. He does not know who took them. He only remembers the man wore a long coat, carried a flat case, and signed a form with quick strokes. The clerk cannot recall the name. Investigators check the staff list. Several names are familiar from earlier union records tied to men associated with the Genovese group. The investigators interview the building janitor. He says nothing unusual happened. His voice shakes slightly. He refuses to make eye contact. Agents suspect intimidation. They end the interview. Federal interest rises further when fuel suppliers begin reporting storage tank shortages. Some stations fill their tanks twice in 1 week. Others submit fuel requests that exceed ration board approvals. Inspectors review paperwork. Many forms contain identical handwriting. Several signatures match names of ration board staff, but the staff deny signing anything. The inspectors suspect forged documents. They cannot prove it. Fake orders, fake vouchers, and fake coupons are moving freely. The system is slipping out of federal control. By February 1943, the counterfeit network expands beyond New York operators, established distribution points in Paterson, Jersey City, and Hoboken. These points remain small. They handle only local demands. The real volume still passes through New York and Newark, where most of the forgery and allocation fraud originates inside the Brooklyn warehouse. The operation becomes more organized. The printing press is cleaned regularly. Plates are changed after specific counts to avoid pattern consistency. Workers handle paper carefully to avoid smudging. All misprinted sheets are collected in a locked metal bin to be burned. Supervisors track every sheet, every ink batch, every serial roll. They treat the press like an industrial assembly line. One man stays near the back wall, cutting sheets into strips. Another sorts them by letter class, another punches holes where needed. A final worker binds the coupons into booklets that mimic government-assembled books. The quality is professional, better than many legal ration offices could produce. At the same time, a separate crew manages distribution. They meet in small restaurants, union halls, and supply depots. They use ordinary delivery trucks to move boxes. The trucks are legitimate. The businesses on paper are real. Only the contents inside the boxes violate the law. Taxi companies benefit the most. Their fuel usage spikes. They run more shifts, more routes, more nights. Many companies operate nearly non-stop. A regulatory officer in Manhattan notices consistent high-volume fuel withdrawals from several garages. When he visits a garage on East 109th Street, the owner leads him through the lot. Cars move in and out constantly. Drivers carry ration books filled with C coupons. Many books contain perfect pages. No wear, no stains, no fingerprints. Too clean for normal use. The officer raises concerns. The owner shrugs. He says the books come from approved sources. The officer leaves with a copy of 2 books. When sent for review, both are declared suspect. No arrest follows. The legal threshold for forgery during wartime rationing is high. Without a witness or direct evidence from the printing location, the government cannot act. By March 1943, counterfeit coupons represent a large share of redeemed gas coupons in New York. Internal reports suggest thousands of gallons of fuel per week are being released illegally. Authorities estimate the discrepancy but cannot quantify it precisely. The operation expands again. A second printing site opens near Red Hook. The equipment is older but functional. This site produces lower-value A-class coupons. These coupons are easier to pass because nearly every civilian uses them. The volume at this site reaches thousands of sheets per week. Men bring coffee, sandwiches, and cigarettes to keep the crew going through long nights. They keep conversation minimal. They know never to mention names. Meanwhile, the core leadership overseeing the scheme stays distant. They meet in private apartments, backroom offices, or quiet lounges. Figures associated with the Luciano and Genovese factions monitor progress. They receive updates through intermediaries. They ensure no single man has complete knowledge of routes, storage locations, or printing schedules. At the federal level, the investigation grows but faces obstacles. Staff shortages prevent comprehensive inspection sweeps. War demands outweigh ration fraud priorities. High Command believes fuel theft is harmful but not as urgent as military supply integrity or espionage risks. Still, agents gather evidence. One finds a discarded fragment of a counterfeit sheet behind a station in Jersey City. Another discovers that several ration board employees live beyond their means. They cannot prove bribery, but reports indicate it. In April, a shipment of coupons traveling from Newark to a Pennsylvania clearing office goes missing. The truck driver claims he was forced to stop at a roadside diner due to engine problems. When he returned, 2 bundles were gone. Investigators suspect inside coordination. They cannot trace the coupons. Meanwhile, counterfeit distribution spreads into Philadelphia. Local stations redeem coupons with serials identical to those found in Brooklyn. Federal notices circulate internally. The patterns show a clear sign of organized distribution. By May 1943, the scale of the operation is too large to contain. Fuel stations filled with stolen gas operate continuously. Taxi associations remain competitive only by using illegal coupons. Businesses depend on unrestricted fuel for deliveries. The counterfeit market becomes woven into daily city life. Federal agents intensify interviews at ration boards. They question clerks, secretaries, and supervisors. Some admit losing track of books. Others recall seeing unfamiliar men in restricted areas. One clerk remembers a man wearing a dark overcoat standing in the hallway late at night. The description matches a known associate of the Mangano-connected dock labor group. The investigation reaches a crossroads. Federal agencies debate whether to involve Navy intelligence. The docks remain under scrutiny due to fear of sabotage. The Mafia's role in dock operations complicates matters. Operation Underworld, though secret, has indirectly strengthened the underworld's access to ration book shipments and distribution lanes. The coupon scam continues without interruption. Revenue grows, distribution increases. The forged coupons travel farther. And none of the core figures behind the operation appear on any federal watch list. The network has lasted nearly a full year, and its structure only becomes stronger. By June 1943, the counterfeit gas coupon network reaches its most organized phase. Distribution lines operate on a fixed weekly schedule. Drivers make drops at fuel stations before dawn, leaving bundles inside back rooms or beneath crates of legitimate supplies. Small brokers handle neighborhood-level circulation. Larger brokers manage interstate movement. None keep written records. All communication remains verbal. Inside the Red Hook printing site, the equipment runs almost non-stop. A supervisor checks ink levels with practiced precision. Workers replace plates after specific counts to prevent detectable patterns. Each batch is stored in wooden crates marked with generic labels such as maintenance stock or boiler fittings. These labels reduce suspicion if anyone inspects the crates. In the Gowanus warehouse, more sensitive material is stored. Here, bundles of B and C class coupons are separated into distribution lots. Thick rubber bands hold the stacks tightly. The serial codes are arranged in numerical order. A man wearing gloves verifies alignment. Any sheet with misaligned numbering is removed. The crew never questions where the coupons go. They only know each bundle is expected by someone waiting at a scheduled drop point. Federal agents detect the increased circulation through fuel request reports. Stations continue redeeming higher volumes of coupons than expected. Trucking companies show fuel usage that contradicts their approved limits. Taxi garages in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Newark operate long hours without requesting additional government authorizations. The Office of Price Administration increases field visits. Inspectors walk station lots, observe redemption logs, and track distributions. They find duplicate serial sequences in multiple boroughs. They submit these findings to Washington. The response is slow. Wartime administrative channels require multiple signatures and routing. The delay buys time for the network to expand. In late June, agents investigate a printing shop in Brooklyn suspected of producing ration coupons. They find nothing. The shop is clean. The presses are ordinary. The workers deny involvement. The real press sits hidden several blocks away in a warehouse with boarded windows. The investigators leave with no evidence. At the same time, a fuel distributor in Jersey City becomes suspicious of the volume of C-class coupons being redeemed at several local stations. He alerts his regional supervisor. The supervisor forwards the complaint. The information reaches OPA investigators, who schedule audits for the following week. The audit never takes place. Days later, the distributor retracts his complaint. He says he miscounted. Agents suspect intimidation. They cannot prove it. By July 1943, investigators broaden their focus. They examine shipping records at the port. They review personnel files linked to ration boards. They check the backgrounds of station owners known to have ties to local unions. Several names recur. Men connected to labor groups, trucking associations, and dock operations long influenced by the Mangano and Genovese networks. Still, no direct proof links these individuals to counterfeit production. The forgery operation remains insulated behind layers of intermediaries, none with full knowledge of the larger structure. Through the summer, counterfeit coupons continue moving through New York, New Jersey, and beyond. Fuel stations rely on them. Business owners depend on them for deliveries. Taxi drivers consider them essential. The illegal system becomes normalized within the urban economy. In August 1943, a break in the case appears unexpectedly. An OPA agent in Pennsylvania finds a stack of coupons tossed in a trash bin behind a rural station. The serial numbers match batches previously identified in Brooklyn and Newark. The agent sends the coupons to the New York office. Investigators confirm they belong to the same print sequence. The discovery proves the counterfeits are not isolated. They are part of a structured, widespread network. The agents file an internal report recommending coordinated federal action. But the war shifts priorities. Supply chain concerns increase for military operations overseas. Fuel diversion cases rank lower than wartime transport stability. The case remains active but underfunded. Meanwhile, the counterfeiters continue adapting. A third printing location opens quietly in an industrial building near the Brooklyn Navy Yard. This site specializes in limited-run codes to replace any sequence that attracts too much federal attention. 2 workers assemble the books here. One monitors alignment. Another sorts pages. All boxes leaving the site are marked as machine parts. Distribution expands again. Elevated demand from trucking companies pushes intermediaries to widen the network. Drivers in Queens and the Bronx receive regular deliveries. Some pay through intermediaries, others through local contacts linked to union representatives. In September, investigators attempt a coordinated strike. They visit fuel stations across New York simultaneously. They collect coupon batches and examine them for inconsistencies. Many bundles appear genuine. Others reveal repeated serial sequences. Still, no one on site can identify the source. Everyone claims ignorance. Meanwhile, ration board employees continue reporting minor irregularities, missing books, unexplained entries, and altered forms. Internal oversight cannot determine whether the issues come from negligence or organized interference. The counterfeit network shows no signs of slowing. By October 1943, rising suspicion among certain fuel distributors threatens the operation. Some distributors begin refusing coupons with certain codes. Others demand government verification. These changes cause minor disruption but do not stop the larger system. Within the crime families overseeing the operation, internal adjustments occur. Men with too much exposure are reassigned, routes are shifted, brokers are replaced. The structure continues without interruption. Investigators escalate again in November. Federal agents detain a small-time broker caught with several bundles of coupons he denies knowing they are counterfeit. He claims he purchased them from a man in Brooklyn. He cannot provide a name. The brokers above him remain hidden. The operation's compartmentalization prevents any meaningful breakthrough. In December, investigators trace a set of coupon sequences to a warehouse near the Gowanus Canal. They visit the location, but the building appears empty. The press has been moved one day earlier. All that remains are scattered metal shavings and a few sheets of discarded paper. None contain printed material. The crew has already relocated. The investigation stalls again. Through the winter of 1943, counterfeit coupons dominate fuel redemption in several boroughs. Taxi fleets operate with few interruptions. Trucking companies expand routes. Businesses reliant on steady fuel supplies continue functioning smoothly. The illegal system becomes as dependable as the official one. By early 1944, federal investigations shift away from coupon fraud. Other wartime concerns demand attention. Investigators remain active but fewer in number. Inspections grow infrequent. The counterfeiters adjust once more. They reduce production slightly to avoid drawing new scrutiny. They maintain distribution at steady levels. Their network remains stable. In mid-1944, an internal memo from the Office of Price Administration acknowledges the scale of counterfeit activity, but notes the difficulty of dismantling the network without direct evidence. No large-scale arrests occur. By late 1944, as the war turns toward its final phase, ration enforcement relaxes. Coupons remain in use, but oversight weakens further. Counterfeit coupons continue circulating freely. In January 1945, several rationing restrictions ease. Fuel allocation expands. By spring, rationing becomes less strict. The black market loses some of its value, but continues functioning until the final months of the war. In August 1945, gasoline rationing ends. Stations no longer need coupons. Ration boards close their distribution schedules. Storage cabinets empty. The counterfeit network dissolves quickly. The presses stop. The intermediaries return to other rackets. The warehouses empty within weeks. No major prosecutions follow. No high-ranking figures are convicted. Most federal documentation mentions only suspected forgery or probable organized involvement. The case remains unresolved in official files, but the impact is clear. For nearly 3 years, counterfeit coupons moved through New York, New Jersey, and neighboring states in massive quantities. Fuel that should have been restricted flowed freely. Businesses stayed alive because of it. Taxi companies expanded. Distribution companies avoided collapse, and the crime families overseeing the operation strengthened their influence quietly, without public attention. The gas coupon scam ended when rationing ended, not because it was stopped. The war controls disappeared. The need for the operation evaporated. The evidence faded quickly. No shutdown, no arrests, no final confrontation. The presses stopped because the war moved on and the city moved with it. Within days, the last bundles were burned or buried. The trucks resumed ordinary routes, the warehouses emptied, the workers dispersed. The war's black market faded without a trace, but the methods it perfected shaped future rackets for years to come, and the men behind it walked away untouched, leaving behind a wartime system built on paper, ink, and silence.